single leggy stuff. Okay. There are options today in some movements. So those options, actually, we'll just start off the top and then I'll explain those options. We're going to start with 3 times through. We're doing a couplet. Okay. I know there's 3 things listed here. So if you're reading the description, it's 10 per side single leg glute bridges or regular glute bridges. Simple, right? So 1 leg or 2 legs. If you're doing the glute bridges like with 2 feet, it's just the same amount. You can even elevate the feet, which I'll show you there if you want to stick with 2 feet. So pretty simple there. So that's the or. The second movement of this couplet is going to be 10 per side donkey kicks into a fire hydrant, which we've done both those things. I believe we've done both those together. This is I don't know, a cheeky trick. If you have like a tea towel or something small and squishy that you can hold behind your knee, I find that to be very helpful. You could do this without. It could be, honestly, I'm gonna grab a cat toy because that's what I have in my vicinity. To do this with. But you can, right? I'm gonna use a cat toy. It's a sushi. But I mean, frankly, you can use anything, something squishy that you can hold behind your leg, right? We're doing that 3 times through. Okay. From there, 4 times through. This is the or again. 8 per side single leg deadlifts, right? Or if you have a heavier weight or you have a weight you can touch the ground with, you could do 8 stiff leg deadlifts. And I'll go over the differences in those 2 things. One of them starts on the ground, the other starts standing. And one uses 2 feet and one uses 1. Followed by 8 plank shoulder taps or hip taps. We've done shoulder taps before. Hip taps is a similar idea, but I'll review that when we get there. And then I have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest for 16 minutes and that's 4 stations, so technically 4 times through. But we'll see what time we have left and also what energy is left. So we're elongating the ab work a little bit, meaning the intervals are getting longer. So 40 seconds instead of 30. Alternating V-ups, glute bridge marches, and Supermans, and your 4th station is rest. Okay. So let's get this started. Let's start with your cat-cows. For 10. Do alternating bird dogs. Extend your arm or leg first, arm second, right? Lift. Repeat. The arm's a bonus. You need to focus on legs only. You can do legs only. Beautiful. From here, we're going to do kind of like full body circles. So we're going to kind of sit back into one hip, rotate around, over the shoulders. We're not really moving the spine around. We're moving it back, making kind of an oval, if you will. 5 per direction. I'm going counterclockwise right now, or anti-clockwise, depending on how you say it. And then opposite direction. Make our hand reach the ceiling. And then you're going to rotate through this gap. Switch sides. I always do this side. Switch sides. You can rotate as much as you're comfortable. And for these, let's do 3 to 5 reps per direction, so per arm, if you will. Let's do our 90-90s. Feet hip-ish width, maybe shoulder width. Drop the legs off to one side. Let the opposite butt cheek or hip sit bone leave the ground. I have these. I'm gonna spend a little more time at the end range of each position. You're more than welcome. It feels kind of nice today, so I'm spending a little longer on each side, but you don't have to. Okay, so from here, oh, do you have a question, Lisa?
No.
Okay. Okay. That's just wasn't sure. That's fine. We're gonna do a half kneeling position, so we're gonna be a little more active this time. So in this case, the leg that's forward, so I know you can only see my torso here. My left leg's forward. My back leg, my right leg, I'm gonna start by squeezing my butt first and foremost. I want to make sure, show you on the side, that my hip isn't tilting or back here. It's just squeezed to neutral, not forward. Okay. And then from here, if this is enough of a stretch, stay here. If you want to lean forward, keep the butt squeezed, that's fine. But if you can't keep the butt squeezed, come back to that neutral or middle position. You're gonna send that hip back. So might feel it here, but I feel it my right hamstring mostly. So the opposite of that front hip. We're gonna go back and forth. Squeeze your butt first, braced, maybe lean. If you need to hang on to something, you can. Do this 3 times per leg. For the sit back part, this version, if you need to hold, again, hang on to a sofa or something to balance because you can't touch the ground, that's okay. Please don't pull your hamstrings. It's not a fun injury. Ask Nikki, he'll tell you. 3 per side. Butt squeezed, maybe lean forward. Or if you yoga blocks at home, they're kind of perfect to kind of hang on to. Be right back. Beautiful. So let's review that donkey kick and fire hydrant. Again, I'm using a cat toy. I'm not kidding. Sorry, it has a little noise. You can use a tea towel, whatever you like. Yeah, something. So we're gonna put this behind your knee. So I'm gonna squeeze this behind my knee so it doesn't fall out, right? And then from here, right, I'm going to kick. So donkey is the back, right? You notice my leg's not going very high. I don't want any change in the hip position. And then side, that's 1. Back, side, 2. We're doing 10%, but we're just practicing. All right, so a little squeeze can help. Just keep that heel towards your butt. Your glute bridges, fairly straightforward here. So your 2 primary options, right? Just to, get things moving, right? Squeeze, right? You want a single leg version, kick the leg forward, or, right, so we have a B stance position. Probably better seen this way. So my left leg is kicked out away from me, or we have a full lift. Does not matter which one. So that would be 10 per leg if you're doing single leg. If you want to elevate your feet, you can. I will say when using couches and things, they are hollow. So I recommend something slightly more sturdy. So that you can press down on, but each their own. But some variation of. So I'm not going to do too much here, but I got my feet on my couch and do the same thing. It makes 2 feet harder. But that's just an idea. Take it or leave it. But again, make sure the furniture you're using is sturdy enough to do so. Beautiful. We're gonna do that 3 times through, right? 10 single leg glute bridges or single leg variation per leg, or 10 regular or feet elevated glute bridges. And then 10 per side donkey kicks and fire hydrants. So when you're ready, just do this. Go ahead and start roll through that. Nice job. The donkey kicks, you're gonna, and again, tea towel or t-shirt is optional here, but it is nice. Good. Don't worry how high that knee goes. In fact, I'd rather have the knee less high and the hips more stable. So as the hip moves to the side or back, yeah, there you go. That back position shouldn't change. If your butt doesn't feel this, let me know, because you're either bulletproof or not doing it quite right. Or maybe you're just stronger than I am. So kick back goes more like directly to the glute hamstring. That hydrant is a little more lateral hip. Good. Switch sides. I think I'd recognize a leg or a side that is maybe less effective, should we say. Good. That was round 1. You can rest if you need to, or change. And I will say, if you're doing single leg and you're like, oh, that's a little too much, you can go to your 2 feet or that little the B stance where that 1 foot comes out a little bit, and that can make it. Don't get a butt cramp. It's not worth it. It's not. No. You can stop before your butt cramps. That's not. We're not doing that today. Nice job. There you go. Nice. On the fire hydrant, or you should try and go a little less high with the knee and keep the pelvis. You're gonna try and if you try to keep the hips even, the knee doesn't go quite as high. The donkey looks right. Yeah, there we go.
I remember those doing those donkey kicks and what is it, fire hydrants and like college aerobics where everybody was just throwing their legs up as high as they could. I think it must have stuck somewhere in the back of my head.
Well, it's actually there's nothing wrong with that, but because of I have actually no problem with deviating from neutral. I think I like to start with neutral, in this case, the neutral hip pelvis, because then when you deviate, it's on purpose, right? If you're doing like dancey type, if you're like dance type stuff, um, I think actually, I'm guessing the reason that people, and I do the same thing, people tend to kick the leg up really high, um, is they want to feel their glute activate, but sometimes they're just not. So instead of squeezing a towel behind their knee and bring their heel close to their butt, they're lifting the leg higher up to try and feel the same sensation. That's my theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but and or it's a lack of body awareness. If you're dancing though, that could be literally you're looking for more extension or flexion shapes on purpose because that's what you're training. Um, but yeah, I like to start people at neutral. And then when you deviate from neutral, it's hopefully a choice, not an accident. But yeah, this is very college aerobics. I think the class would be called like booty blaster or something if it were in a studio. Nice job. Final set here. Nice control. Good. Good. Lovely. Take a break. Well deserved. I'm going to talk about the single leg deadlifts at this point. I think we're all pretty familiar with. So I'll do a visual demonstration um, on those just in case, but hopefully by now we get the idea on those. I'm going to talk about a stiff leg deadlift because that's probably a little bit newer for some of you, maybe not all of you. And then our plank shoulder hip taps, or I say shoulder slash, so that's an or, not an and. So our single leg, let's start from the top, right? Single leg deadlifts. Again, I'm going to show you from my hips down because I think that's the critical piece, right? I'm going to grab my kettlebell today. You can, if my standing leg is left, I can hold right, or you can hold left arm, left leg. But that's just a matter of taste, okay? I like to go opposite, so I'm going to use my left leg, send that hip back, and either keep that foot down, and then I'm loading this hamstring and butt that you've already worked on. If you prefer a little more of a leg lift, whoa, this one's hard, right? For me, that's okay. That's fine. As I come down, regardless, the shoulders, just like the hips, are going to stay even. So I'm going to come, as my hips go back, I'm not trying to reach my weight to the ground. I'm always going to kind of keep a nice even position, right? So I'm not trying to reach that dumbbell or kettlebell to the floor. It's unlikely that it's going to touch, frankly. If you're doing the single leg version, not impossible, but unlikely for most of us. The next thing, right? This is the, should you prefer, or maybe you have a bigger kettlebell, a bigger dumbbell, or a bigger, maybe you have a barbell setup, which is great. We can do a stiff leg deadlift. So if you have a kettlebell or an awkward setup, as in like maybe it's just too low to the ground, you can just stack it on something, books, something stable, lift it up, something that feels like a comfortable starting position. I'm okay with this setup. You know, it's a little bit low. And try to get myself in the frame here, sorry. So I'm going to be over my bell in this case. The bar goes across. And I'm going to reach down for this. You'll notice my back is pretty low. If I'm deadlifting, I'm traditionally here, right? But the stiff leg implies, no, my legs are bent here, but it's because I'm hinging, right? My knee's soft. It's a big stretch in the hamstring, and there is a low back bias here. That's okay for me. Now my back stays flat, my lats are still on. I'm going to push, stint, right? So this is kind of very hamstring, glute, all this, even a little low back, which I'm comfortable with, but if you're not, it's okay to raise up a little bit. So bring the height of your object up a little. The stiff leg implies there's no rebend. So meaning I'm not coming down. I'm not doing this part of the deadlift. I'm just doing this part, right? If you have any low back sensitivities, this might be one to avoid today. And your single leg deadlift could even be unloaded. We can do it for balance, right? So lifting the back leg, kind of like is it warrior 3 something in yoga? Yeah, if you do yoga, you know what I'm talking about. Some variation of that. From here, right, those are kind of your two primary options for your deadlifts. We have our plank shoulder taps, shoulder or hip taps. So your plank, first and foremost, can be scaled down. So if holding a full plank shape is too much from the core perspective, so this is too much, you can do this. As long as your butt's squeezed, okay? None of this hip back position. And then if it's too much on the wrists, you can grab some dumbbells, right? You have some, and do that instead. So the wrists are neutral. Kettlebells are doable, but a bit tricky. What we're gonna do is either shoulder taps. So I like to go opposite, but you can go same side. So it's gonna be either opposite, all right? Or it's going to be hip, right? So it's just a little bit harder, frankly. But it's kind of up to you, right? 8 per leg on your single leg deadlifts, or 8 stiff leg deadlifts, followed by 8 plank shoulder or hip taps. 4 times. There you go. And lifting that back leg is going to bias balance, and that's not a bad thing. Take your time. It's also okay to slow down. Take your time. So you're carrying currently the weight in your standing leg, right, Arisa? That can feel more challenging. This is a
Oh, it should be the other side.
no, this is not a should. This is just purely like some people prefer, and I've have clients who prefer to carry the weight on their standing leg. Personally, I find it easier to go opposite. So if I'm standing on my right leg, I'm holding on my left hand. And that just makes it feel less challenge, like still way more balanced. Yeah. I will say that the way you were doing it the first time is a great alternative if you're like, hey, I have my 8-pound, 10-pound weights. They're kind of easy. Then do the version you just did, and it makes that 10 or whatever you have at home feel a little less easy. Good. Yeah. And if it helps, you can look at something in front of you, right? Don't looking at the screen. Now just across the room. There we go. Take your time. If you feel like you're gonna wobble or fall over, just bring that foot down immediately. No need to continue deadlifting if you feel like you're gonna fall over. The same thing, if you're, that's not just particularly you, Marisa, but if you're dealing with balance issues, but you want to work on them, but you don't want to fall over, have a mantelpiece next to you, have a chair, maybe a countertop, something that, or a wall that you can kind of just grab or push into if you feel like you're gonna fall over for extra support. Good. For the plank shoulder or hip taps, it's okay to do a nice wide stance with the feet. That might make it feel a little less wobbly. Beautiful. So slow and steady, right? Despite what your body says, speed is not going to help you through your deadlifts on this one, especially if you're going balance based. So opposites tends to be more balanced. Opposite of your standing leg. Yep. Same side tends to emphasize that leg, and balance can be more challenging. But like I said, I have clients who prefer it the other way. They feel more balanced when the weight is on the standing leg. So figure that out for yourself. What makes the most sense for you? Nice job. There you go. And you have like a wobbly leg, the one that's maybe a little less effective, maybe more wobbly, more balance is more challenging. It's okay. Good to recognize that leg. And this is more just to a general audience. If you're going for the stiff leg deadlift option, please bring the weight, keep the weight between your feet. Don't let that track in front of your toes. That goes for single leg deadlift athletes as well. Slightly less critical. I say slightly. So keep the weight in line with your feet, not in front of your toes. There you go. You want your big toe, pinky toe, and heel on your standing leg, nice and grounded, a little tripod. Nice active arch, whatever that means. Okay, if you have a flat foot, you still have an active arch. Yeah. Yeah, keep that weight a little more middle of your foot, Marie. So don't worry about leaning the hand forward, reaching it forward. Just keep the hand down. There you go. So yeah, weight should stay over the middle of your foot. Right? That's the idea. Middle of your foot. There you go. Beautiful work. Nice job. So
That was 3, I think. Yeah, one more. Okay.
um so actually, well, it's totally fine. We can stop here. I had four sets written down, but no need. That if that felt like enough. I'll kind of let you choose if you want to do that. Well, actually, let's do this. It's either you do the fourth set of that, what you just did, and do less because of time, less of the ab work, or you, in that for the sake of this session, cut off the fourth round and do more of the ab work.
Let's do more ab work.
More ab work. Okay, good.
Mm.
So 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Obviously, if you need a rest within 40 seconds, that's okay. Just rest. No need to be silly about this. So our 3 active stations, we have 1 rest station, so 4 total technically, but 3 active stations are going to be alternating V-ups. We've done these a lot lately, and if you need to change this to a dead bug, you can. So I want to show you the alternating V-up first, or tuck-ups. And then I'll show you to remind you the dead bug. So either way, we're laying on our back, so you can get to your back however you need to. You're alternating V-up, right? So right hand reaches for left foot. If you can't reach your foot, you're stiff. Reaching for your heel's fine, right? It's just like a flexibility issue. Try not to use your couches for assistance, preferably. Right, just alternating, so on and so forth. You can lay down fully between reps, but I want that low back as you come up to start to press into the ground. So we're tucking the pelvis towards the ceiling, right? And the back is flush to the ground. Dead bugs are going to be alternative here, so it's less necky. So head is down, knees over the hips, hands over the shoulders, and it could be legs only. I keep my legs bent because I prefer to. But nothing from my rib cage to my hip bone should change. So there should be no distinct gap here. And you can go same side, opposites, or just legs if that's too much for your brain. 40 seconds of either of those options. Glute bridge marches. If this needs to be slightly different, we can make it that way. Otherwise, we can shorten the interval if that's feeling a little rough. Glute bridge marches. You're going to be in your glute bridge position. You're going to go 1, 2, trying not to drop the hips. I'm trying, but I'm not doing a very good job of not dropping the hip. I'm a little tired post workouts. Let's see, yeah, 40 seconds of those. And Supermans, you're going to be on your belly. I'm going to go diagonally, toes together. Right, thumb is up, head is down, and I'm going to go to raise my hands and my feet simultaneously. Keep thumbs together. Right. Keep your butt squeezed. We're doing, and then of course you have rest. So if you need to rest within your 40 seconds, that's okay. And find something that is suitable for your ability. If I know the things I listed work for you, it's okay to make a substitution. Okay. Questions?
Oh, wait, it's one exercise for each of the 40 seconds? Sorry, I forget what we do.
You're only doing one thing within a minute,
Okay,
right? I mean,
okay.
that minute includes, of course, the rest. So 40 seconds is just one thing. We're not trying to do all the things in 40 seconds. It's too much. That's ambitious. Okay. I'm gonna set myself a timer here. Or find my timer. Okay. All right. I have my clock going here. So we're starting in 5, 3, 2, 1, and go. Yep. Yeah, alternating means you can switch legs, Arisa. Yeah, you got to stick with one side the whole time. And rest. Yeah, just you can stay laying down. We're gonna do the marches next anyway. Three, 2, 1, and go. Yep. Baby steps, not gonna be big. Don't be anything huge. Excuse me, sorry. Three, two, one. Take a break. Good. You're gonna roll onto your belly, right? So 10 seconds. Two Supermans, toes together, thumbs up in 3, 2, 1, and go. Get your butt squeezed, toes together, think length. So reach the opposite sides of your room as well as height. Again, any low back sensitivities can be adjusted for. Three, two, one, rest. Good. This whole extra minute of rest for you feels too, almost like a big word there, superfluous, bleh, extra, too much. It is okay to remove it. If you want to keep it, Arisa, give me a thumbs up. No, you're good to keep rolling. Okay, great. Let's start our count. I'm gonna let this one go by, or else my brain can't handle the math. It doesn't want to anyway. Let's put it that way. We'll add this minute of rest, but the remaining ones will not have it. Lovely. 10 seconds. Three, two, one, and go. Yeah. 'And rest. Good. Three, two, one. Next movement is glute bridge marches. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. 10 seconds. We're doing Superman's next, so we're gonna be on our bellies this time. Your toes touching, butt squeeze, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah. So right, height as well as length reach. So reach for the opposite sides of your room. Three, two, one, rest. So we're just going to roll into the next one since you seemed okay with that. So no minute of rest. Good. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, anything else out for you? I've just been up too long. Woo! Excuse me. Three, two, one, and go. Our glute bridge march is next. Yep. 2, 1, rest. Good. When you reach, gently roll into our bellies. Go. Toes together, thumbs up, and go. 2, 1, rest. That was round, let's say that's a third. You did each station 3 times. You up for one more? Do you want to one more? Or call it a day? One more. Okay. Final time through in 3, 2, 1, and go. So this last piece is kind of like your time permitting, right? What do you have time for within your workout for the day? 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. That's your last time doing the alternating V-ups. Or the final set of glute bridge marches. 3, 2, 1, and go. 3, 2, 1, rest. Your final, I guess, calculated rest interval. You can rest indefinitely after this next 40 seconds. Final set of Supermans. Maybe a Superman hold, should you choose. 3, 2, 1, and go. 2, 1, and rest. Good work. A lot of kind of, we call posterior chain, right? Hamstring, glutes, maybe some low back. It's okay if it was helping there in general. So just being gentle with your body today when picking stuff up, right? Or maybe if you're doing this at the end of the day, a little child's pose or kind of, you know, gentle, being gentle with yourself, right? So when you're doing activities or getting in and out of bed, as the case may be. Good work. That's our time. Usual soreness is normal. And I'll adjust the programming to suggest minute rest is an option on that out piece. So that should reflect accurately. Nice job.
Thank
What
you.
kind of lifts? Like look great. Okay, I'll see you next week, Risa.
See you next time. All right.